Hi, welcome to day 46 in our Bible in a Year reading. We're in Leviticus 8 to 10. In these chapters, we're reading about the consecration of the priests, which are Aaron and his sons. Now, it's not very far into our reading where we have a really sobering and difficult section to read, where two of Aaron's sons offer unauthorized fire before the Lord, contrary to his command. And their lives are taken for that. That can feel unjust on the surface. But what we need to remember is God had just clearly laid out the details of what these priests were supposed to do. He had been very clear, and we know from our prior reading how much God is in the details, and He's calling us to honor Him in the details and be obedient in the details. And especially for the priests, they were not just like the people. They were called to a higher level of living and holiness as they came before Him and represented the people as they carried them on their shoulders and next to their heart. So for these two sons, not long after receiving the details of their role, to go in and offer casual sacrifices to the Lord just couldn't be allowed, because the Lord is holy and He needed the priests to operate in that level of holiness that He had called them to. And this really is, in Leviticus 10:10, a verse that I think sums up the heartbeat of these chapters. You must distinguish between holy and common, between the unclean and the clean. These sons were merging the holy with the common. They weren't taking their job seriously, and God couldn't allow that. He called them to live set apart. This was a sacred responsibility that they had in their role. And God just doesn't call us into holiness, but reverence. And these sons didn't reject God. They approached Him casually on their terms. This makes me pause and just think about how I approach God. We don't have to bring sacrifices. Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice, but we carry the Lord with us, and our lives should be a worship to Him. But do I merge the sacred and the common? May we find those areas in our lives that we approach God too casually, and that we would return to awe and wonder. What stood out to you? Let's learn and grow together.